Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I've had a number of requests over the last number of months since starting my channel if I could do some videos on my top 10 pieces of kit that have stood the test of time and that I would recommend for people who are serving or bushcraft users or survival enthusiasts. So here goes my top 10 pieces of kit. The first one I'd like to show you is the Timex digital watch. The reason I picked a digital watch or Timex is just because they've been about for about 30 plus years. I've used them throughout my whole military career. I liked the digital watch over the analog watch during the day, but at night time I would prefer to change to an analog watch such as Luminox, Tracer or H3. But for everyday use and gym use I found these watches to be great. The Timex is ready available in this country everywhere. This one I'm using at the moment is quite similar to your G.E.O type watch and it's shockproof, and I think this one's the Expedition watch I'm using, so it's doing really well so far. The reason I've changed from the G.E.O and back to the Timex is because the G.E.O keeps letting water in for some reason and is affected by the cold, and I was just getting sick of it, and plus they're about 3 and 4 times the price of this watch. This watch is roughly at Argos at the moment about £25 and it does a great job, so I highly recommend it. This is the Timex watch. The second item I'd like to recommend then is your Iron Brew bottle. It's free basically once you've bought it initially and drank it. The reason I like this is because it's basically bomb-proof. You can throw it up in the air, throw it about, drop it inside your Bergen, it won't burst. And the other thing I like about it as well is sometimes if I've got a sore back I can use it as a roller by just lying on top of it and it's actually full. And this is one of the bottles I actually carried throughout my whole career, because I kept finding if my Bergen was dropped off the back of say a 4-ton truck, sometimes it would land on the side pouches where my webbing had been wrapped round and would crack usually the bottle lid, and I just repeatedly need to change my bottle. So I end up changing to this, and basically they're bomb proof, and if they do break you just throw them away and you can replace them easy. And basically the qualities there that is required to do the job, they're fit for purpose, definitely value for money, plus the Iron Brew you can get to drink in the process of gathering it. It stood the test of time and it's bomb proof, so this is definitely value for money. You get a foam roller and a water bottle, 2 for the price of 1, can't beat it. The third item I would like to recommend would be a metal mug. But what I'd like to show you first is what I went through the last number of years. They've been really good, some of the cups, but I've constantly reverted back to my original mug, which I'll show you then. So first of all I'd like to show you this one here. This one here is a metal mug by BCB, no to tell a lie, that is actually by Webtex. The thing I liked about this was it was black, it absorbed the heat much better. The reason I didn't stick with this cup is because once I was hit up on the cooker it kept burning my lips because the metal was too thin round about the lip rim here. So that was solely the reason I didn't stick with this cup, but it is very good and the black was great at absorbing heat. The other thing that a lot of people get a bit peeved at, as in the Teflon starts to come off as you clean it with your scouring pads, so I never had that problem, but it never stood the test of time. But it was value for money, and I suppose you could put a bit of tape or get the plastic rims made for the lip and it would do the job no problem, but didn't stood the test of time with me, so I'm moving on for this one. The next one I'd like to show you then is the Optimus Weekend Stove, or Optimus Crooks Weekend Stove, and basically the cup it comes with it. I like the idea that it was Teflon coated again, but the problem again is once it's heat up is when you take the cup to your lips, the rim wasn't sufficient enough, as it would burn the lips right off of you, and the heat transfer was just too much, so it didn't stand the test of time. So I do like the fact that it folds away and comes complete as a nice wee package here. And what I used to do is just actually put the rim in here and cover it with a band. That just kept it together. That was one of the other reasons that I kind of moved on for this as well, because if you don't have this type of band on it, when you put in the wee bag that it comes with here, it's really noisy and banging about. So tactically for guys who are serving, this wasn't fit for purpose, I felt, without putting this additional band on it. So that was one of the reasons this one didn't stand the test of the time. Good enough quality, was fit for purpose, and yeah, expensive I felt at the time. So I wouldn't say it was great value for money, but it was okay. It did do the job. It was a great wee cooker that comes with it, but it hasn't stood the test of time. So the next one I'd like to show you then is all the bushcraft and survivalists' favourite, is the Pathfinder mug. The thing I liked about this is it came with a great bottle, stainless steel, bomb-proof. Really liked it. I liked the height of the cup and the fact that it had markers on the inside here, but it got badly stained on the inside, and I found it really hard to get that staining off. I wanted it stained on the outside to help absorb the heat and boil the water quicker, so I deliberately never done the outside of it. A bit flimsier than the cup I'm going to recommend to you. It done okay. I didn't feel it was value for money, and the fact that we had to get it in from abroad and pay the customs and excise really pissed me off, so it never stood the test of time. Great cup, but ready available now through Heaney Hayes in this country. That's where I bought this one from. Yeah, I would recommend it, but it has its limitations, but for me it never stood the test of time. So the next cup I'm going to show you, I've just got it recently. I've used it a couple of times, is the Stanley. You can see here it's got a wee lid. If I can get it off, it stops right here. Like so. Comes with a lid with the strainer on the top. Plastic inserts, which is okay if you want to use that type of stuff for if you've got multiple people in your party. All I wanted it for was basically the height of the cup and this handle here for putting over the fire. Really good, really liked it, but this handle here for me was a bit too footery. Try to get it in and out, just no used to it, probably no gave it enough time to work. As you can see, I'm still struggling to this day to get it, and it's to do with this clasp running up and down. I need to switch this round about. I feel it's a good cup, and it was ready available in this country for us, but no, not just for me, this one. Okay, but the one I do recommend, and I have been using for approximately about 30 years, is this cup here. The BCB issue metal mug. This is it after 20 years of use, and it's still clean on the inside and on the outside. It scrubs up well, it's bomb proof, you get quality for your money with it and value. It's definitely fit for purpose. You can put this on gas stoves, you can put it directly on the fire, and the one thing I do like about it, it doesn't burn your lips as bad as any of the other mugs I've shown you. And simple little upgrades, as in the plastic cover that BCB do. I did like this initially to start with, but what I found when I was using my pocket rocket stove, because the arms were quite small and it wasn't that great balance, when it hit up in the water, this would stick a bit and be enough to cowp it. So I changed this, and what I've done after watching a few clips on YouTube is actually made my own metal lid for it, and that works really great. The reason I've done it in this colour is when I was on my survival courses, I had a tendency to sit it on the ground and sometimes kick my cup over, where this colour always caught the corner of your eyes. So this is how I developed this and just made it myself. It works great, can't fault it, it's definitely stood the test of time. As you can see, it's still in great condition, and this is just another one that I've got in the pouch that I carry it in. So just to make it a bit more sound, this is the pouch here. It fits in this pouch here along with my coffee jar, my cleaning sponges and scouring pad. Just goes in here like so. Coffee jar goes in, and we can just zip it up. So for the lads that are serving, it's a great wee package just to throw in the side pouch of your Bergen, and you just get it in here like this, and that comes as a nice wee neat package, easy to draw in and out with the molly system at the back. And I found this works great for me when I'm out in the woods. And just to show you a couple of additional wee bits I've added. The elastic band to stop the lid rattling. This is another lid that I bought, a bit more substantial this lid, but doesn't fit quite as good as my yellow one that I've made here. So that's that lid, and you can see I've got my pocket rocket on its side inside the cup. To stop the handles rattling, I just put a piece of short cord around the side, so anybody that's serving, just to make it a wee bit more tactical for you, stop the rattling. And this here just slides in and out. You can also put your sponge in first to help with the noise. Once you get your short cord round the outside, just put this over here like that. Silent. Okay, so it works really good. I highly recommend this. So my third item for recommendation that stood the test of the time, value for money. I think this is approximately £10 to £12 at the moment from BCB, is your metal mug. The next item I'd like to recommend then is tape for the field. When I was serving, we were issued this tape here, and we used to call it Harry Maskers. Okay, brilliant bit of kit, we used it for everything. But the best tape I came across was the green sniper's tape, cloth tape. We used to put this around a bit of weapons and cam it out. This is a brilliant piece of kit. Still to this day I use it. Quite expensive, but I think it's definitely worth its weight in gold. The things you can do with this is great. If you're injured, you can make it into a support bandage or strapping for any injured round about the limbs. It's good for that. Obviously, what it was designed for is to put on weapons. One of the good things about it is when you strip the tape back off, it doesn't leave a lot of residue, and that's one of the things I really like about it. At the same time, it's really sticky. When you compare it to what we've got here is the Gorilla tape in camouflage, this is roughly about the same price. This is a bit more waterproof, but once this is stripped off, it doesn't stick back on as good. So your Gorilla tape is good in the various colours that it comes in, but for me it hasn't stood the test of time. The bottom tape here, the black maskers, was good. It's very good at sticking to itself, but I found in cold weather that the tape would start peeling off and wouldn't re-stick to itself. So this is why this tape didn't stick the test of time. The green sniper tape is cloth. It absorbs the water but dries out and stays sticky. It's great if you have like a knife or a machete and you need to increase the size of the handle. A couple of wraps round this tape and get a good squeeze would actually mould with the tape if you built up enough layers. I found that really good for it. And also the grip it provided with this cloth type tape. It stood the test of time. Quality, I definitely got it, and it is basically bootneck proof or bomb proof to you and I, okay, and definitely fit for purpose. I highly recommend green sniper's tape. The next item I'd like to recommend is a saw. I started off with the standard Laplander saw. I thought it was great, good value for money, approximately between £10 and £12 at Amazon at the time of purchase. I've had it for a good number of years. The thing with my shelter building, I just felt this saw wasn't big enough to do the big jobs, and this is why the Laplander didn't stand the test of time with me. but a really good saw, and I would recommend it for just your average small detailed work. Good and good value for money. It was fit for purpose, but as I say, for the big jobs just didn't cut it, so this is why it didn't stand the test of time. The next ones, two saws I'm going to bring in here, is the Friskers and the Wilkinson sword. I've got the Friskers along with my axe free, and the Wilkinson sword I was given, very much along the lines with the E.G.O saw, Laplander, slightly more expensive. I like the fact that these had retractable blades, this, and they were good for fitting in your pocket. That's something I really liked about them. But the problem was with these saws was they were a bit flimsy, as in the blade bent too much, and the same problem again for the big jobs, just useless. Price wise, at the time of purchase, I think this one was along with my axe at the time. Oh, sorry, this one was along with my axe at the time. I think they roughly go for about £16. They were okay, fit for purpose for the small jobs that you would do, obviously in the garden, yep. The only thing is that I aren't boot neck proof. I felt that there was a possibility I would snap the blades if I was really going for it, so this is why these two saws didn't pass the test of time with me. Next one I'm going to bring into you is this one here, a bit bigger, and is the Silky Boy. I was recommended this while I was in Edinburgh in the survival shop. The saw is really expensive. It's approximately between £70 and £80. Walks out, as you can see, a big saw. The problem with this saw, as you can see, the blade has far too much flex in it. One of the most efficient cutting saws I've come across. Great that way, but it would definitely not stand the test of time. And I don't know how it's got such a good reputation for itself, because my friend bought one and it didn't even last 5 minutes and he snapped the blade in half. Just far too flimsy for the money you're paying. I think it's terrible. I would definitely not recommend the Silky saws, any of them at all. I just at the time wanted to try it. It was recommended, definitely no boot neck proof or bomb proof, and has not stood the test of time. Value for money, no, definitely no. Stay clear of this saw. Just put this away. The saw that I've come to use over the years is this one, the biggest saw, because it does everything. I can do small jobs and large jobs. It's the E.G.O Force 23 inch. Time of purchase from Amazon was approximately £12 to £15 with your postage and package on. Did come with a saw guard, but I've made one myself from guttering with 2 holes through it. I'll show you how that works in a minute. This is my second blade in 2 years, and I'm out every weekend using this. Great saw, brilliant, does all the big jobs and just keeps coming back for more. The only kind of small letdown I'll say with this is the size of it when it comes to carrying it. But what I've done is just with my Bergen is I fold it over the top of my roll mat and it fits comfortable, and I've just found a way of carrying it. It works for me. What I've got here is a piece of just flexible metal, and drill 2 holes through this piece of guttering to protect the blade. And all I do is I shove it up here like this, fold it over, and that way it gives me a bit of protection here and that. And obviously I've got to put one up here as well, and this works great, doesn't cut into anything. Highly recommend this saw, great quality, stood the test of time, boot neck proof, bomb proof. Yeah, this is definitely one for the woods. Highly recommend it. My 6th item on the list is the British military issue poncho, and I've got it here in a boot bag, and that's how I actually carry it in the field. Okay, with its attachments of bungees, and because I'm not tactical anymore, my 6 yellow pegs just go in the side pouch here. this is a brilliant poncho. It's definitely stood the test of time. I used the Snug Pack diamond shape poncho, and in high winds it just acted like a kite and was no good. Looked really nice, warm weather, fair weather, great, worked brilliant, but just the fact that it kept blowing away in really high strong winds, I just didn't like it at all. Plus getting used to the shape was another thing. Mostly use DD hammocks, but DD hammock no way would take the punishment that the forces put their ponchos through. If you were digging out OPs and using them to carry it, using it as a stretcher, a DD hammock has not got the sturdiness to take that type of abuse. Whereas these ponchos, the modern one's obviously done for the British Forces and NTP, this is the old DPM one. Used it for 20 plus years, brilliant piece of kit, highly recommend it. Throw a couple of bungees on it, your paracord tyres, can't fault it, definitely fit for purpose. You've got the quality you're looking for the military when they use it. Value for money, yep, this one here approximately £15, so definitely the one for you to use when you're out in the field. It stood the test of time with me, and it's bomb-proof. Another thing, if you've looked on my channel, is this is the poncho that we actually do the poncho challenge with. So if you'd like to take us up on it, it's basically any type of tarp or poncho, 6 pegs, 2 bungees, your tyres, your 6 tying points. Try and get the poncho up in under a minute. I'm challenging yous, and this is the poncho I used, so definitely the way ahead. This is what you want. Highly recommend it. The 7th item on my list I would like to recommend is this here, the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. The reason I've used this and moved away from the issue shovel is, one, the issue shovel I felt was too small. It was great for packability, the ones we were issued, the British Forces one, but it really hurt my back, and I've suffered from chronic back pain most of my military career, and it just taken too much out of me digging with such a short shafted shovel. My friend Andy went over to America to the grinding at Bat River Knives, and one of the problems we asked Mike Stewart that we were having was taking branches off of pine trees right next to the trunk. We kept bending our blades, snapping them, ripping chunks out of the blades, and basically just busting them up. So we put that question to Mike Stewart, and he told us we need to actually adopt the Scandinavian way of working in the woods. And what he actually meant with that was wearing a puku knife round their neck, using a bow saw or a saw of some description, and an axe. I've never been into axes. I just feel I've not got the control I like, and when things go wrong with an axe, they've got a tendency to go really wrong, and the injuries seem to be quite severe, especially when you're using axes like I've got, the Gransford Brooks type axes. They're super sharp, just as sharp as a knife. So I was needing a shovel, I got the shovel, and this thing here acts like an axe, and this is absolutely brilliant at taking the branches off the trunks of any pine tree. It's never failed me yet. You can hit branches on the ground, the roots, hitting off bricks and boulders in the ground. This thing takes it all. It's a great weapon, and I've had a couple of modifications to it. I've just put some sniper tape that I mentioned to you earlier on the grip, just to fill it out a bit. I've put a hole through the handle just for a bit of a tyre. I've sprayed a bit of green paint on it just to fill it in a bit and make it a bit more tactical. I've added a carabiner, which makes it easier for hanging up on my admin line when I'm out, and also for clipping to my Bergen. I really like that, or to my waistband, use that. For digging, very good. It's not as sore on your back as the issue one I found, so this is a brilliant piece of kit. I've had it now approximately about 4 years. I can't fault it. You're definitely getting the quality. The value for money at the time I bought this from the British Cold Steel site, and I think I paid £25 for it. That was 4 years ago. I'm not too sure of the price now, but you'll definitely get your value for money with this. The quality's there, as I say. It's bomb-proof, definitely is. And if you have a look at my site, you'll see some of the tasks I've been doing with it. I highly recommend this. I can't fault it. Get yourself one of these. Number 8 on my list then will be the Petzl head torch. I've used this now for approximately 25 years. Not this particular model. I found Petzl just definitely gives you the quality you're looking for. These torches, when I first started in my military career, were quite hard to come by, but now they're 10 a penny. You go up to your local Asda store and you'll get them for between £2 and £6. They're okay for the odd camping weekend, but if you want something that's reliable and that you can use time and time again, month after month and year after year, I recommend Petzl. They're great. There are a variety of models and different illumination strengths and weight. You can get them tactical now. I just find they're absolutely brilliant pieces of kit, and you can never be without one of these. They're small, easy to compact. They can be stretched over the top of your helmet and hat when you're wearing it at night. This is definitely going to give you something that's fit for purpose. Gives you the quality that you're looking for to last for years. It's value for money. Slightly more expensive, I would say, than what ones you get in the store. I think this one at the time of purchase was about £30, but to me I think that's worth it because I'm going to get years of use out of this, and it's basically stood the test of time and it's bomb proof. So Petzl head torch is definitely the way ahead to go. The next two items I'm going to bring in is 9 and 10, and that is gloves. The first set of gloves for number 9 is just your working gloves, the ones that the builders would wear while out on the site. These cost approximately £1.50. I says in one of my videos I done the other week there that I've done the expensive gloves, the Oakleys, I've done the Merck gloves, and they keep ripping. And you spend a fair bit of money, and I just think you're not getting the value that you're looking for and the quality. You're paying £1.50 for these to £2, and you definitely get your work that they're fit for purpose. And this is a pair here that I've got after about 8 months, and all I've done is added a hole through the top of the glove so I can clip it onto my trousers and just bring the two together. You can see they're still basically in one piece. Oh, dirty, yeah, I'll give you that, but there you go, that's after months and months of hard work up the woods. So your workman gloves, I'd recommend this type of glove over your more expensive ones. There's nothing wrong with the more expensive ones, a bit more comfortable, yeah, I'll say that, but I don't think you're getting the value that you're looking for or need. These are hard use gloves, definitely fit for purpose, highly recommend them. They're bomb proof. So your workman gloves, okay, these. The next set, ones I've been using since the late 80s, I mentioned them the other week there, is the Mercalon Magic gloves. One size fits all. Never liked wearing gloves while I was serving, but this glove here fits and it kept my hand warm. I found when I wore the other gloves, or the gloves I was issued, it seemed to make my hands cold. The good thing about these is when they got wet, all I done was squeezed them and let the water wring out of them, gave them a shake, and they still kept my hands warm. That's the thing I really liked about this, and I had full dexterity in my fingers and use on my weapon or any equipment I was using at the time. These are Magic gloves and they're Mercalon, so I would definitely recommend these. You don't see them as much as we used to do now, and they're probably been superseded, but I'm sure if you had a look about eBay, your Amazon, you would find this glove again. Just a wee bit of home comfort while you're out in the field, keeps you warm at night as well. Definitely recommend them. The Mercalon Magic glove. That's my list compiled of my top 10 items that I would recommend to you that I've used over the last 20-30 years. The reason I've used them is basically because they were fit for purpose, they gave you the quality I was looking for, I got value for money, They stood the test of time and basically they were bomb proof. All of us are different, we have different needs and requirements for our equipment, but these ones done the job for me. Why don't you give them a try and see if they work for you? Well, what I'd like to do now then is thank you for coming along to my channel, and please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.